Well, hello and welcome to another edition of Late Night Lotro, where we break out the classic but always fresh Lotro. And I'm joined tonight by Storm. Say hi, Storm.
Hello, folks.
And I'm, of course, Magenta. And this is Campaigns and Conquest, late night edition. So, how are you doing this evening, Storm?
All right. All right. Not too
That's
bad. Yep. I
um,
complain, but who would listen?
I listen
Right.
for
That's
about 10 seconds and then I go, okay, you're complaining. Bye now.
yeah, that's right.
About right. I have a low tolerance for negativity.
uh,
I can't help it.
well,
I'm going to log out of.
I won't go there, but okay. Yep.
Don't go there. Okay,
All
let's.
righty.
Are you all right?
Uh huh.
Okay. Ooh, this is Orthara's new outfit. What do you guys think? Is it nice?
Nice.
She's got her fancy little outfit on. This is her armor. She is ready for battle.
Yep.
Yes. Well, she is ready for battle, isn't she, baby? Baby is her cat. No, baby is my cat. Orthar can't have her. But we're going to pretend. My room is so incredibly hot. I don't know why. Or maybe it's just me. It could be just me. But we'll see.
Might be. Might be.
It might be. Yeah.
Huh.
What happened?
Oh yeah. Oh, I just came to a discovery about some things I was storing and stuff like that.
Oh, a discovery, eh?
Yeah. I'm not
Should
sure
I
why.
meet you at the house? I probably should, shouldn't I?
Uh huh.
Mhm. Okay. By the way, I need to make sure that her shoes. There we go. That looks much better. Yeah, there we go. She's a hobbit. She doesn't wear boots. She doesn't need to wear boots. Okay.
Oh, no, no. Cancel, 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 cancel. Shoot.
What'd you do?
I made a boo boo.
If
Made a
you sold
boo.
stuff you didn't want to sell, there is a buyback option.
Nah, I just forgot to make a transfer here.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Uh,
Let's see.
shit.
Where are you, by the way?
I'm logging on. I just screwed up.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, while you're logging on, I your task is to talk to everyone while I go get some refreshment because I forgot to refill my soda. Actually, I didn't really forget. I got waylaid by a cat, which can happen. She decided it was time for snuggles. So, how do you say no to that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Don't say no. It's not appropriate. Okay, shall return shortly.
Okay. Uh, where are these things? Oh, okay. I see. Good, good, good. All right. By the time we get going, it'll be over, but that's okay. So, yeah. Let's Uh-oh. No. Hello? 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 Okay. I thought I maybe had a short or something. Alrighty. Now I got it set up. Get into the right guy. Well, that was weird. I sure thought I heard a short. Hello, hello, hello. I did do this right, yeah? Okay, logging on to the guy I need. Wow, that's bad. Hello? Hmm. Wow, why is that being... My computer's dying, folks. Wow. Hmm. Yeah, I'm going to check that out. Okay. And my internet is dying out, too. Hmm. Doing speed tests right now because something ain't right. Hmm. Sure wish I could talk about ecology and role playing other than this, but I wait around for everybody to. Anybody here? I doubt it. No. Okay. It's not gonna go anywhere, so why am I bothering? Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry about the delay.
Oh, it's okay. It's 4 now, so you said you could only play till 4.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry. Well, I got some fruit to eat, so I could play a little bit.
Hmm. Um.
Where
Did,
would you like me to? I'm at my house or at the store.
well, I just talk about the stuff I was talking about, and
Oh, okay.
yeah. So I got this slow ass internet,
Was well, yeah. That's because you're not in South Korea.
right?
They treat the internet like a utility there.
Uh,
Mm,
so
mm,
and uh,
mm.
so yeah. Um. Boy, is it slow. So the oh wow.
Yes.
Oof.
What?
I'm supposed to get 1,000, and I'm only getting 250.
Why are you only getting 250?
I don't know.
You talking about on your Lotro points?
No, on my internet speed.
Oh. Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm. Well, I know this is not as exciting as we'd hoped, but Mhm.
yeah. Wow.
Hmm. It says this quest cannot be canceled, so I better do that when I'm prepared to complete it. Well, hmm.
Okay, so let's see.
I'm going back to Ichad Syrian, or as I like to call it, he got sirloin. Mm, I'm in Mirkwood. Check me out. I'm in Mirkwood.
Go, Bubby, go.
Hmm. 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 Okay. I had quests out here I had never taken. Or maybe they're repeatable. I don't know. It's possible. But I have volume 2 epilogue. Do you have that quest? It's in Ichad Syrian.
Um, that's the one we couldn't do.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it
That
is.
was,
That's why you canceled it.
oh, is it?
Yeah, that's why you just picked it up because you had canceled it because it was the one you can't do.
Find fleeing orcs in the Mirkwood Mirk Eaves. I don't think this is the same quest you're talking about. I could be wrong though. Because this is only like 200 meters away from me over here.
Hmm.
Oh, I have the wrong. Let's see, where can I go? Where do I go, man?
So one of the interesting things, or here we can look at this.
Where are you?
I'm just reading out of this book.
What book are you reading out of? Why don't you catch us up to where you are?
I'm trying to get there.
Ooh, you got War Scouts. There might be some caves over here by these mountainous regions. This could be promising. Ooh, the Windstones. Oh, look what I found. It's one of those treasure caches that I can't open. Well, that's unfortunate. Ooh, I see a Warwick Scout. I think for some reason Miss Orthara is going to be country. I think that's appropriate for her. Don't you think? Hmm? Ooh, I found the cave entrance. Look at there. I'm going in. Here we go. We are in the Hall of Lights. Ooh, fleeing orcs are dead, but the glowworms that slew them are a threat. Oh my gosh, they're pestilent. Ooh, I gotta kill 14 pestilent glowworms. Have you done the glowworm killing?
That is a repeatable quest, and I have done it.
Oh, well, I don't think I have ever done it. Once again, I got left out.
No, you did it.
I got left behind.
You did it.
I got left behind. I always get left behind.
No, you
Isn't
did
it
it.
right? Uh-uh.
Yeah, you did.
Mm-mm.
It'll tell you have.
Mm-mm. I don't think so. Hmm. These icicles could be dangerous. They could fall on my head. Or are they stalactites?
So, I'm reading the Dungeon Master's guide
Hmm.
for
For
D&D because this guy brought up world building and all this stuff, and
what guy?
some guy. I don't know. Anyway, so
Oh, some guy. Okay. That guy. I didn't know that guy. Mhm.
anyway, so it's weird how many times this guy that writes Gygax um, contradicts himself.
Mm.
So he says, "Oh, it is okay." So he writes in making your own campaign or in world building portion of it. So here it goes. It says this. Ugh. Uh, it is of the utmost importance to some dungeon masters to create and design worlds which are absolutely correct according to the laws of the scientific realities of our own universe. These individuals will have to look elsewhere for direction as to how this is to be accomplished, for this is a rule book, not a text on any subject remotely connected to climatology, ecology, or any science, soft or hard. However, for those who desire all, some youth, okay. So first he does the usual thing, like, oh, you're being a fuddy duddy, and you're being too, you know, and then goes on to do exactly what um, uh,
Do you think it might be possible that Gary was wise enough to forestall the perfectionist?
no, he literally says what you're doing is bad, and kind of,
Mm.
vaguely mocks it, and then goes and says you don't need to do it, and then the following text proceeds to do exactly what he said
Mm.
is dumb and you shouldn't bother.
Interesting.
uh
Mm. I just had me some fruit. It goes well with glowworms. Fruit does. You know what I mean?
uh-huh. Okay, so so he says, okay, so connected to isn't connected to climatology. Okay, so then after saying none of this is about climatology or ecology, the very next, I don't even remember why I didn't pick up more on this, but the very next
Because
paragraph,
you were excited and thinking about having fun rather than.
well, that's not no, but that is fun.
Oh, okay, okay.
So the very next thing is you don't need something. We're not talking about detailed scientific climatology. Here's the next paragraph on freaking climate. So, temperature, wind, and rainfall are understood reasonably well by most people. The distance from the sun dictates temperature, with the directness of the sun rays affecting this also. Cloud cover also is a factor. Heavy clouds trapping heat to cause a greenhouse effect. Elevation is a factor, as the higher mountains have less of an atmosphere blanket. Um, Bodies of water affect temperature as do warm and cold currents within them. Likewise, air currents of likewise air currents affect temperature, winds
Did you
affect temperature.
just snort when you said air currents?
Yeah, well, yes. And then he
Do you
says
get the
winds are
irony of that?
uh, rainfall. Okay, so winds are determined by.
Ooh, the glowworm matriarch has shown up. I killed her. I defeated the glowworm queen in the halls of the glowworms. I am superior.
Can I
Welcome.
continue?
Yes,
Good for you for being superior.
to the glowworm queen. Hmm.
Right.
Yes,
Um,
she is defeated.
Winds are
She
determined
never
by.
had any feet, just to be clear.
Okay. Can I say this now?
Maybe.
Winds are determined by rotational direction and thermals. Rainfall depends upon winds and available moisture from bodies of water and temperatures as well. All of the foregoing are relevant to our world and should be, and I'm just going to repeat it one more time, and should,
I
SHOULD,
got it the
should,
first two times.
well, it's not being repeated for you, be in a fantasy world.
Mm, okay. Who are you arguing with exactly?
That's not an argument. Just hear me
Okay.
out.
I mean, who doesn't think that, right? That we should be like at least. I mean, it should play a role. If there's rain in the world, I mean, unless it's like a desert world. Ooh, it's pestilent. I have to kill it. It's pestilent. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. So here again, he says, you're a fuddy duddy if you do this, and then goes on to explain exactly what the
Why you
very
must do it. Right.
the very thing that. So so the next thing is ecology. And so many of the monsters are large predators that it is difficult to justify their existence in proximity to one another. Um, so,
I don't know how to get back out.
here's the thing.
Mhm.
I have had arguments about this,
Of course.
and and anyway, uh, it's if this stuff is unnecessary and it's to a lot of people undesirable, and that's almost an inference made by Gygax at the beginning of the chapter, but then or like lays it out. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
that's like saying right and left at the same time.
Right. That makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
And so like it's like he was trying to please two sides of a coin. Like, yes, you're
Like,
right. This shit is too complex. By the way, all the people who do it anyway, here's how I, like, okay. So anyway, um, but here's the thing: if you were going to track an animal, knowing where it conducts the three S's for itself, is how you track it. People that like Jurassic Park, I get it. It's not real either and all that, but you remember the
No, yeah.
dude?
I mean,
Remember the dude that was like he didn't have a very big part, but he was that like safari hunter guy that
oh yeah, the in
they
the
hired.
beginning, he was the one who knew something was up before anybody else realized what was up.
Well, he had
He had experience with these creatures. He knew how dangerous they were.
he was a hunter.
Right.
He was a big game hunter, and he was high. Like if you read the book, there he has more detail than he had in the movie. In the movie, he's just kind of like, why is he even there? But he
I
didn't
think it's
just
supposed to represent how the guy who created the park ignored all the actual science and just took shortcuts because it was all about the experience and he just wanted fun, 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 fun for the whole family. Even though the guy was like, "These are dangerous animals," you realize they're dangerous animals, right? Yes, yes, but you know, you
you're
got this handled. I have confidence in you. That kind of crap.
you're thinking of the Jeff Goldblum guy.
No, no, because the guy who was the gamekeeper, the hunter guy, he was given warnings too.
He made some comment like they should all be destroyed. That's pretty much all there was to it. And then he. So anyway, but the point is that um, if you want to track an animal, you have to know how it not like what does it eat? Where does it find what it's trying to eat? Where does it shit? Where does it sleep? You know,
Oh, crap!
that kind of stuff.
Right,
You know, not just I see his track, so I'm following it. Like like there's more to it.
right, and I'm sure the Hollywood movie shortcuts all the like really relevant bits because it wants to get you to the traumatic part. So
Yeah.
they kind of hint at what's going on and don't really.
Well, the reason I bring them up is because I mentioned that like people were talking about how what are we doing? They were complaining about wandering monsters and certain things like that. And I says, um, the thing is, if you and this was being said right inside this book. It says this very same thing. So many monsters are large predators that it is difficult to justify their existence in a proximity to one another. Of course, well, that doesn't matter, but
Well, yeah, they wouldn't be. You wouldn't have more than one super large predator in a given area at a time because.
right. So everything he's like, don't get on my case, but what I was some of the
No.
shit I was just uh, one of the things I was arguing. Like this fucking paragraph is what I was arguing. These people that said they were experts about D&D completely. So they're like, I don't need to know any of that. I'm like, okay, but it's right in there. Of course, in a dungeon setting, it is possible to have some in stasis or magically kept alive without hunger. But what of the wilderness? Then, too, how do the human and humanoid populations support themselves? The bottom of the food chain is vegetarian cultivated grain with respect to people and their ilk. Large populations in relatively small land areas must be supported by lavish vegetation. Herd animals prospering upon this growth will support a fair number of predators. Consider also the tales of many of the most fantastic and fearsome beasts. What do dragons eat? Humans, of course, maidens in particular. That's he's being. Yeah. Dragons slay a lot, but they do not seem to eat all that much. Ogres and giants enjoy livestock and people too, but at least the more intelligent. sort raise their own cattle as to guarantee a full kettle. When you develop your world, leave plenty of area for cultivation, even more for wildlife. Indicate the general sorts of creatures inhabiting an area using logical regard to a natural balance. This is not to say that you must be textbook perfect. It is merely a cautionary word to remind you not to put too many large carnivores without any visible means of support. Some participants in your campaign might question the ecology, particularly if it does not favor their favorite player characters.
Right.
You you must be prepared to justify it, and here are some suggestions. Um,
Wait, I thought the DM was always right.
no, right, and see, there's another contradiction because he writes a very lengthy thing about tell people who are rules lawyers or who are bitchy or complainy to shut up and don't play or or don't do like keep it running and all that, and then he's afraid of the very people he told you earlier that you can just bid be quiet or off with you, and
Yeah.
so it's just when we were talking about making the rule book for our thing, and
Uh-huh.
I expressed concern because there was lots of people that were constantly made a big issue about how the book was arranged and all that stuff, and um, they're like, you know, people had actually taken this book and rearranged it, reprinted it in a different manner, used the same text largely, but just took the chapters and remade them and stuff like that because they felt it wasn't clear. But the problem isn't where you put the subject or what paragraphs you put where. It's that this thing goes on its own sidebars where it just starts talking about like there's notes and it's not coherent and it's contradictory. If you read if you read the foreword and then
But
read
see,
the epi
that's
and
hold
read
up.
the
All the most successful books are contradictory, though.
no, this is incoherent and literally saying
Yeah, I
in
know.
one, but like if you read the foreword and then read the epitaph of this book, they directly contradict one another.
Yep,
And this is
that
not
makes sense.
no, it doesn't. This isn't some why would that make sense? This is an instruction
Because
manual. Because why?
because it at any given time it can be more than one thing can be true, which means that you, as the person who is the player or the DM or whatever, you get to choose.
Yeah, but
You
this
can
is
cherry pick your way to the perfect game
yeah,
because
but
all possibilities are in it.
uh, that's not what
And
that's not what I'm
you
saying
can
here.
garner attention because people will argue about what you really meant by that and which passage holds sway from now until the end of time or
No,
humanity.
that's not what
Okay.
I'm talking about. I'm talking about
Oh,
an instruction manual that contradicts itself.
uh-huh.
If you were reading directions how to build a ladder and it said put the screw here on one page and goes, by the way, you put that screw somewhere else on the next page,
I know.
that's not smart or
Yeah,
there's
but
nothing
that's for
intelligent
a
about that.
concrete. That's for building, for
That's
playing
what
the
this is.
game.
This is a rule book.
Yeah,
See, what I'm saying. That's not. This isn't commentary. This is instruction, and contradiction is not good.
I
So
know. I'm being a bit sarcastic, but I'm also being truthful.
no,
The reason that it's counterintuitive, it makes no sense at all, and it shouldn't be this way. But what actually happens is books that are written with wiggle room are more popular than books that aren't because people like their own interpretation the best. So if you put all the possibilities in there as much as possible, then you get the advantage that people are going to be more likely to like your stuff.
Okay, but that's not what's happening here. That's not what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
okay.
What I'm talking about is somebody saying turn left and then immediately saying no, turn right
Hmm.
about the same direction.
Well,
That's not being
you get if
pithy
you're
and
going to waffle like that, you've got to hide it behind
but
some
they're not.
flowery language that's difficult to interpret so that it can seem like you're saying both things at the same time.
No, he's literally contradicting himself. So
Okay.
here's the thing.
I don't
Um,
doubt you.
okay, so but it's not it's not crazy like the fox trickery. It's stupid and
No,
it's
it
dumb.
wouldn't be intentional. It would be, but it still works the way it works.
No, don't.
I disagree.
Well, disagree about what? If you tell somebody to paint it red and then the next sentence you tell it to paint it blue, you're fucking stupid. It's not a matter of being, hey, that was real clever. Now you got people thinking. No, that's dumb. That's
Well, yeah,
contradictory. And and if you put no, like it's some, yeah, he's being real smart. You keep acting like that, but it's not. If that, you're,
I didn't say it was smart. I said it was popular
no, it's not though. To tell people, no, it's not. Why would that be popular?
because people's
This
brain
isn't,
has that
yeah,
cognitive
but this,
dissonance thing, which means that when I read it, I'm going to read into it what I wanted it to say. And when you read it, you're going to read into it what you wanted it to say. We both walk away happy. And only once in a while, because it's a big rule set and there's a lot of different rules in it, only once in a while will we even notice that we have contradictory opinions on
well, this
something.
is glaring and obvious, so that's not,
Okay.
it's not some smart, pithy thing.
Obvious
It's
to you,
being
but
dumb.
maybe not obvious to everyone the same
Well,
way
no, but
that
it
it's
is. So here's
It's
the
like
thing.
one of those pictures, the ones
Uh,
that looks like a horse and then it looks like two ladies dancing or whatever, depending on how you look
no,
at it.
no, this is directly contradictory. So, uh, so anyway, so okay, so next it says certain vegetation grows very rapidly in the world. Roots or tubers, roots or tubers. You know,
Well,
hello, oh,
two birds in the hand is better than two in the bush.
no, not the tubers.
I know, I was being silly.
Tubers. Your gardening gal. Tell us what a roots versus a tuber is.
Well, tubers would be like elongated, I think. I don't know. I really honestly don't know. That's one of those weird things that probably has more to do with language origins, kind of like the way beef is a French word comes from boeuf, which all of the like cooking words for meat come from French because there was a time where the English court spoke French. Anyway, never mind. I
Yeah,
went
no.
to a bird, but that's what happens.
So here's what it. So here's the definition. Tubers are and I didn't know this, but because I don't grow shit. But tubers are a type of enlarged structure that plants use as storage.
Hmm.
I hear. What is that noise?
What noise?
Shh. So storage.
Don't.
Yeah, just storage. Just store use for storage. Storage. Dude, yeah,
Dude, what are you doing to me?
just shush. Let me try to quiet.
Stop that.
No, just put me on mute then. Hold on. I gotta just stop.
Everybody's listening to you.
I don't. There's nobody listening. Just let me do
Okay.
this. Quiet. Storage. 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 What the fuck is that? Storage. Weird. Okay. So anyway, it's a type of storage for nutrients derived from stems or roots. Tubers help plants uh, pyrenate, provide energy and nutrients, and are a means of asexual reproduction. Okay, so that's the difference between a tuber and a root. Okay, so roots
Okay.
and tubers, a grass-like plant or grain. One or more of such crops support many rabbits or herd animals or wild pigs or people or whatever you like. The vegetable or the vegetation springs up due to a nutrient in the soil, possibly some element unknown in the mundane world, and possibly due to the radiation of some blah 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 blah. So he just goes on to kind of be like, you can make it like Earth, but you can also change it up. Like maybe potatoes in your world are, you know, red, like beet red or something like that. Um, but he's talking about finding a way to explain that away. Like maybe it's because of some, you know, non-Earth mineral that is in your world that isn't on Earth or something like that. And here's another thing that was a big argument with people. Dungeons, likewise, must be balanced and justified, or else wildly improbable and caused by some supernatural entity which keeps the whole thing running. Um, all right. So, anyway, these are the kinds of things. So, like, the reason I'm bringing this up, beyond Gary being somewhat weirdly schizophrenic about all this whole uh, rule set, is that I had somebody, or actually more than one person, go, I really want to start making campaign maps, but what do you start? How do you do it? What do you can't. And I says they want it, to, they want it to, uh, look somewhat realistic. And it says if you want to get realistic looking terrain or something, then you have to start following at least the basic tenets of the different disciplines of science that were just mentioned here, derided as unnecessary and stuffy, and then fucking explained. It's like when you say you want ecology, all these people, even Gary, go to this, well, you must want, you know, this, like you want me to go get a climatologist to make my map. No, I'm not talking about some collegiate, you know, thesis. I'm talking about shit you learn on Mr. Wizard, for Christ's sake. Um, not anything other than first order earth science that you're taught, just after puberty at most public schools. But they always want to make it sound like when you mention this stuff that it's, you know, PhD level stuff you want to put in. No,
I don't know who they are, but maybe you should not talk to them anymore.
them is, well, I can't. Gary's dead, but he's one of
Oh,
them.
I gotcha.
So, but
Well,
he's the author here. So there you go. So
the
then
way
the
I see it, there is more than one way to play, and I like the way that you play, so I'm down with that.
okay,
But
well, I play by doing the shit that he just said don't do and then explained how to do. So
okay,
social. So the other thing is, you go now, getting on beyond that. beyond the um, vegetation and shit.
Mhm.
Um, so what's really interesting to me about reading what I'm reading right now is that the day today I spent not all day, but I did sit down for a couple hours listening to people on places like TikTok. And no, they're not all stupid or anything like that. I'm not about to say that or intimating that at all. But they brought up um, a series of topics and questions that all seem to hover around these 4 or 5 pages of the DMG.
Uh-huh.
And in some cases, like here's one again, just because you don't know something doesn't mean you're stupid. You're not aware of everything that happened in 1856 because you weren't
Why
born
would you
fucking
be?
then. Right.
Right.
Not major things. I'm talking about Billy Smith down the road in Rhode Island. Something did something like how the fuck would you know? So
Right.
what the guy was saying, he goes, um, this is slightly off the topic of what I was talking about, just an example, but this is probably the one thing that wasn't related to these pages, but nonetheless, he was saying, um, he goes, here's a tip for you as a DM. And he says, come up with some sort of logical, brief explanation as to why your characters have these new powers when they change levels or when they, ascend. Now he's talking about,
Make it a narrative.
he's talking about D&D 5e,
Okay.
the fifth edition of D&D. When you're playing that, come up with this deal because there is no explanation and you just suddenly become more powerful. And in that, like in the original D&D, getting a new level may mean you get a new spell here and there, but often it was just you have a few more hit points or something like that. It was much more simple and subtle a change in most cases. But with 5e, as you're familiar with, because Baldur's Gate 3 is based off of 5e, it pretty much is 5e.
Yes.
You often when you ascend a level, you get 3, 4, and the higher you get, it gets up to 6 and 8 new things added every time.
Uh-huh.
A cantrip, a feat, more hit points, um, and then maybe spells if you have them and stuff like that. And in 5e, pretty much every class has some spells. Like
Is
in
it is it chalked up to like the confidence that comes with accomplishing a mission or something, or
I'm sorry, what
is
is?
it the enhanced abilities? I mean,
Well, no,
how do you work that into a narrative?
okay, well, so he didn't give specifics. He just said come up with one, and the reason he's suggesting that is because there is none, and it doesn't make a lot of sense that um, 5 minutes ago in game time you couldn't hurl a fireball, but if you get but I'm 50 XP away from getting a new level, so if I ice you know, these 6 little kobolds and it equates to 50 XP. Now all of a sudden I can throw fireballs and I've got a new cantrip and all of a sudden you're doing all this shit.
Right.
And it happens right away in that game. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Well, as soon as you can't. As far as I know, you can't stop in the middle of battle and do it. But
Well,
at
I
least
mean,
not in Baldur's Gate.
no, you can't in Baldur's Gate. I mean, you could at a table with a paper game if you wanted to, but everybody probably get mad because you broke up the flow. But the point is that it happens right away, instantaneously, with no explanation, and it can be very counterintuitive. Well, not counterintuitive, but it can be very. It's a logical inconsistency for that to happen. So he says, come up with a story. Not a bad suggestion, but here's the thing: in AD&D first edition, which is actually a much easier and less complex game than fifth edition, even though most people who start with fifth edition only hear stories about first edition, and it's old and archaic and crusty and takes forever, and it doesn't have color photographs, so it must be filled with boring information. But the fact is that it's a simpler game to play. And in first edition, what you would do is, you would, just like Star Wars that we played, you go find somebody that is uh, a higher level than you in the skill or level that, or profession that you're trying to ascend to.
You get
So
trained.
you
Do
go
the
get
whole.
trained from somebody.
You need a
Yes,
Mr. Miyagi.
exactly that.
Well, I
And
mean, not exactly Mr. Miyagi.
well,
His name might be Joe. You don't know.
yeah, right. But but
Or it
and you
could be Sir Fluffs a lot. We don't know.
yeah, right. So, and what you do is you pay for the, I mean, unless it's somebody that'll do it for free for some reason, but you pay for the service of being trained in both in-game currency,
And time.
in-game time, and in-game time, because it takes some time. So, and that's why when you come back and you go, I can do all this new shit. Well, okay, because you just got taught how to do it. And so you don't have to waste time making up stories to justify things that don't make any sense in the rules. Because as much as what I'm complaining about with contradiction with Gary is more about the commentary that he interlaces with this rule set than the rule set itself. And D, first edition seems overly complicated and difficult to grasp because everywhere in these books he stop, and it's not just him, other people wrote it, but they stop and start writing commentary or suggestions and it's interspersed right within the rules so that people can't tell the difference between the two. So all his talk about, well, climate this and you shouldn't do that and scientists that and all that, usually what people do is they write in the back of a rule book, there's game designers notes, and those kinds of commentary would be put in the back of the book. And here it's just without any
It's
distinction,
this. Yeah.
with right, and no distinction. Like there's no, like if they had like changed the background for those paragraphs or somehow highlighted them or notated, hey, every time you see red font, that means we're giving you some suggestions or some you know or commentary. Those aren't rules, those are something else. But it's just all black and white solid block text, and that's bad. So that's where people, you know anyway. So then the next thing was people talking about, there's a lot of people talking about, how do I make a city and deal with all the individuals that are in a city that are citizens, that are, NPCs and all sort of stuff. So, and the next thing after the ecology talk is just that typical inhabitants. The bulk of the people met on an adventure in an inhabited area, whether it be city, town, village, or along the roads of the countryside, will be average folk with no profession as adventurers. Or no profession as adventurers know it, and no special abilities, for clericism or fighting or magic or thievery. They are simply typical, normal people, as you define typical and normal for the place you're in. Um, and when dealing with these types, it is suggested that the following factors be used. They have a minimal amount of hit points because everything is judged in hit points as far as how much damage they can receive, no matter what. And then any combat ability, if they have any at all, is degraded by some basic modifiers. So, and he has three classifications: sedentary, active, and laboring. Um, Sedentary occupations where those
Like
individuals,
mine, customer service, sitting down, taking phone calls, that would be sedentary.
right, um, active or occupations involve considerable movement or activity such as a serving maid, a carpenter, something like that. And laboring are something where you need a lot of, like farming or mining or, um,
Right.
most
Factory
menial.
work.
Yeah, right, right. Exactly that.
Hmm.
So um, then it goes into social class, which I thought you'd find interesting because we do that in detail too.
Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah.
So he goes on to say here, there is no random table for determination of a character's social status to be found here, but there is in our game. Um, and here's where, and this is the kind of thing I never. Gary is who Gary was. Everybody, eh, is there something you're moving or something?
Oh, I was kind of tapping my hands. Sorry.
Okay, that's what I was trying. I thought it was my mic or something. Okay, that's fine. I just
I
now I know.
wasn't doing it when you were checking your mic, but
Um,
I am going to have to cut our evening short pretty soon. Fair warning.
well, then maybe I don't know what's wrong with my computer because then this mic is as fucked up as the last one.
No, it doesn't sound fucked up at all.
Well,
I
so
didn't hear
anyway,
any problems on my end. Everything sounds fine.
okay. Well, let me just go on with this part because just give me.
Okay.
Let me do it.
Finish up what you were saying, and I was just letting you know because I do have plans tomorrow for my grandson's birthday. We're
All
going to
right.
go out. He's going to have hibachi for the first time.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Um. So here's again where I'm going to strenuously disagree. But he says that is because the inclusion of such a factor will either tell you little or nothing of useful nature. Wrong. Or it will abridge your freedom with respect to development of your campaign. That doesn't even make sense. That is, if such a table tells you only a little so as not to force a social structure upon your campaign, the table can contain nothing of use. Huh? If it states rank, it proposes you will, in fact, have such classes in your campaign when you might not desire them at all. Okay, sport, but here's the thing: if you were worried about that, then why decide we're not going to use it? Why not put it in and make it optional? Because yes, there might be people who don't want that in, but what about the people who do? So in a rule set that was supposed to cover every instance, it's just a weird place to go, except this one thing. And it's just more of the contradiction. But and then it goes on to explain it. Now he also goes on to say that the magazine for TSR, Dragon, was already in production in print. And he says if you really want to get into this, somebody that was a player has written in to this, um, and then he gives the volume number and editions so you can have all that stuff. So I just thought that was interesting that he did that.
Mhm.
And he goes into, but then, dude, there's like another half page of commentary about something that doesn't even exist. So this is what I'm talking about. And the commentary is interesting. And, he's got insight because he's the designer and he's already been playing the game for years before he's putting it into production here. But bro, you're breaking up the flow of learning the game with all this stuff. So then he goes on to give, just like I have, um, government forms and a autocracy, a bureaucracy, a confederacy, democracy, dictatorship, um, all sorts of stuff for that. Um, but it's 1979 Midwest America, so there ain't gonna be no commie shit in there because you know
Ugh.
Better dead than red. He just isn't going to put it in there. Sorry, it's just not in there. You can moan all you want, but it's true. It's not there. There's uh, no commie. I mean, dictatorship. I guess that kind of covers it, at least as far as the
Well, you
Soviet
just
Union would go.
ensured this cannot go on TikTok. So,
Why not? Oh well, this yeah. I mean, who gives a shit? But
okay, no clips on TikTok. I got it.
not for this one. That's all right. But I already did something on TikTok about this, so just
Oh,
calm down.
good. Okay, that's good.
So
Well,
anyway, and so I'm not going to read every little thing, but there's so the next thing is talking about um, taxes because that's the thing. Um, Duties, excises, fees, tariffs, taxes, tithes, and tolls, and um, monster population and placement. More detail about that, and I'd like to go through all these at some point. Um, Placement of treasure within your campaign world. Uh, Placement of magic items. These are pages worth of material where he goes into detail about this. And then it goes on to so you've heard people say you can't win at D&D or I'm going to win at D&D.
mm-hmm.
So, and there's people who just goes, it's not about that. It's not a game that has a victory condition. I saw this on TikTok. Somebody's like, D&D doesn't have a victory condition. There's no way to win because there's no explanation as how to win. Here's how you win. Um, you saw did you see the Conan movies? The one with the
Yes.
Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
Okay. There was like three of them, I think, two or three of them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And in one of them, the end is he got what he wanted. He became the ruler of vast territories, and it's like it's this like epilogue text scrolling by as Schwarzenegger's got a fur and a crown on, and he's sitting on this throne, um, and that's it. When you if you live long enough as an adventurer to raise the money that you wanted to get and you buy yourself some land. When a player character reaches upper levels and decides to establish a stronghold and rule a territory, you must have a fairly detailed information on hand to enable this to take place. Yes, and then you go ahead and do it explains all that. But if you live, this game has aging rules in it, so you can theoretically start at the age. It was intimated by somebody or suggested or whatever the proper word is. It's late and I keep using the wrong vocab word or whatever, but that generally first level people, you don't have to start, but like 18 is like where people. So basically what they're saying is if you live long enough to accumulate enough money to have your own um, kingdom or principality or dukedom or whatever, and then you play that out to your death, that's winning. If you don't die and and you successfully gain the money and stuff, then you won. At least that character won, or you won with that character, because that was the ultimate. That was the intention, was to survive this stuff long enough to be able to build your own castle and rule your own land. And that became the game then. It went from we're going into dungeons to go get coins and kill the monsters that are, you know, protecting it to I'm ruling this land and I may want to expand it or, fight wars or something like that with other people to make my lands bigger and that kind of stuff. It went from, you know, it went to a kind of war game type of thing. You're gone, aren't you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm kind of ooh, 15 agility, 30. That's 45 agility. Yeah, these are cool, but I ain't giving them up. Wait a minute. What about these? Agility and vitality. 16 plus 15. That's still higher there. 31, 16. But nope. Nope. Sorry. But the paladins might be helpful. Let's see. 30 agility, 20 vitality. I think I'm still going to stick with those. Nope. Keeping my current armor. Thank you very much. Thank you for the offer. But I got the guide to the Murky Eves now. So now I can travel here whenever I want to. Where are you located?
I logged off.
Oh, you did. Oh,
Well,
okay.
one of the problems I was having is my dumbass kept forgetting to um, move around those bags
Oh,
between
right. So you
characters.
ran out of, yeah.
And all of a sudden the thing started giving me like, hey, are you, like I was logging in and out too much.
Oh, I see.
And it started to act weird. And then I was starting to have internet problems with getting the thing to log me back on. And so I just like, I think I better stop before this thing takes my account away for being,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I
So,
gotcha. Well, that makes sense. I am going to log off because I have to get some sleep. 'Cause we're not getting together till afternoon, but I need to make sure that, I am ready and not holding them up.
right. This stuff was interesting. It wasn't meant to be all bitchy and all that, but I do find the contradictions interesting. But I was hoping to do world building. I put something out on TikTok. I'm like, hey, we want to do this world building thing for Halloween. Nobody
Yeah.
replied. Nobody replied at all. So I don't know, but I was hoping to do it. What do you think? Remember we said we were going to make one that was not a whole country or something, but just like a county with like one.
Oh, we do need to do a Halloween landscape. Absolutely.
Right, right,
I
right.
agree. Halloween would be nice. Okay. I'm going to have to go now.
Okay.
Yeah, I know this was a late night, kind of weird session here, but anyway, I'm going to exit the game and I will talk to you later.
Okay.
Thank you for spending some time with me, even though I know I was kind of in and out and all of that. But late at night, it gets like that. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, and let me remove that here. There we go. So we're going to end the stream here. Thanks everyone who was watching, if anyone was. Hope you all have a good evening. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.